Okay, so welcome to the first video tutorial on how to start off in Revit. So first of all, you have to do the Windows and open Revit, which takes a while, so I've skipped that page. And you'll get to something like this. You'll probably end up with these three examples and some other examples here. You won't have necessarily, you probably have this stool, but maybe not this table. So the first thing I want you to do is to understand how Revit works. So you can see this thing's called projects, and this thing's called families. Families are sometimes called components as well. Families are things which you can create and then import into projects. You can do limited editing in families, and for instance you can't create sheets as in drawings and schedules. You have to import things into projects to create the final kind of sheets and schedules. But we'll start off by opening a family. And these families of components have often been made by other people, but I'm going to show you how to make some from scratch as well. But let's start by exploring someone else's. So if you do family open, you should end up in this directory. So it's important that you should look here and it should say Revit 2019 Libraries UK. If you've got something else, then you're in the wrong place. You obviously could go into libraries and get different ones, but you want to be in UK. So in here, you've then got a whole host of things you could pick up, and by all means explore these at your leisure. But let's start by just picking up something familiar. So let's go to furniture, let's go to tables, let's go to this bottom table here. So this is what you call a family or a component, and on the left hand side here you've got some views. These are properties, so this is properties of this. And you can slide in and out and look at what the properties are, and you can also look at this one, which is the project browser. So you can get different views of this by clicking different parts of here. Although it says sheets in here, you can't do it in families. See this little cube at the top? This is one way of navigating. So if you press top, for instance, you'll see the top. If you click on this arrow here, you'll see the front. If you want to do a 3D view, you can drag the corner of this. What you can also do is press the shift key and your mouse scroll wheel, and then you can do freeform rotation like that. So other commands that are useful, if you press and hold the scroll wheel, this is what I call pan or move. So it picks it up from wherever you press the button and then put it to where you want to edit it. And if you scroll in and out on the wheel, it obviously goes smaller and larger about your crosshairs. So if you're scrolling in with your crosshairs here, don't be surprised it disappears. You've got to have your crosshairs over to scroll in on it. If you do find you've got a bit lost, if you type in ZE, zoom extents, it will bring the whole of your model back into the space. So for example, if you had scrolled here and it disappeared, ZE would bring it back. So that's just a useful thing to know. So let's have a look at how you edit these and look at the different views. So if I open another view, this is called thumbnail. If I double click in 3D, it will look very similar, but it's gone to this thing called, it's not quite wireframe because you can't see the back. If you look in this little button here, hidden line would be the wireframe with hidden lines closed, and wireframe would show everything. So you have preferences about how you want to look at this. So that's the one without the hidden information. You can have it shaded, you can then have it colours and in realistic, and you'll find all these things are available in properties to change, so you could have it different colours in and different ways of being displayed in these different things. So if we just go to shaded, for example, you could then look at elevations. If you click on elevations, you get back, front, left, right. Similar to here. So if you then click on front, you get this front view. And this is the reference level in this model, and this is the center line in this model. And if you type in ZE, it won't scroll in and out because it's seeing all this as the model. And if you went down and pressed ZE, you'd get, so sometimes these datums can mean what you've drawn can still be quite small when you zoom in. Let's have a look at this. So you can click on different elements. So if you click on a leg, a single click, you can see it's 700, and it's got these dark blue arrows, which means you could start to move these. And if you did move one of these and went like that, you'd have one long leg because you've just selected one, and then you would have 3 shorter legs. So if you went to the left view, you would see a different view of the leg. Let's go to 3D view, and you can see this leg now is longer, which is not what you wanted. That isn't going to work very well. So in terms of views, you can do WT as a command, and that windows tiles. So you can click in one and do ZE, click in another one and do ZE, and then you can look at this here and say, actually, I didn't want that long, I'll bring it back up to here, and you can see it's moving back. You can zoom in on here so you can get that to, yeah, so that's nice and on the same level. So you can have the different views open and decide how you when you're editing things. If you look under view, you can get tile views, which is what this is, window tiles, and then here tab views. You'd now have these views on different tabs. So again, you can choose which view suits you best. So that's all I wanted to show you for this initial video, and then next video we'll start doing the exercise. That was just to get you used to the controls.